Hi, everyone. Brad here. I thought I'd start a series called Accreting Mediocrity. As by definition, it means the growing or creating more of over time. And mediocrity, of course, we can all define as barely passing grades. And the reason I use Accreting Mediocrity, I kind of wanted to make a book off of this, a satire on best practices for humans and for business leaders. But in the end, I thought, since I talk to so many CEOs, founders, and leaders, that every time I see somebody doing something or fighting against mediocrity, I just kind of post this into the Accreting Mediocrity, or really the antithesis of that. But here are the three that came up this week. Just thought I'd share. The first one was no reason for the best people to stay. Think about what happens when you have no reason for the best people to stay. If you take a look at your staff or your customers or anyone and you put them ordinally into a category of best to worst, that's ordination, ordinal, and you put them into categorizations, the top, the medium, and the low performers, maybe into quartiles or quintiles. You have to have a reason for the best customers, the best employees, the best technology to come and stay and be with you. Because the way you get to back to mediocre is if you lose the top people, all of a sudden your average drops a lot. So that's the first thing, is no reason for the top performers to stay. I learned this every time that I go into a big organization and they come and say, hey, Brad, we'd love to have more innovative people in here. They hire a whole bunch of them. And then they keep telling them, no, that won't work because we haven't proven it works before. And those great new thinkers slowly leave. Again, allowing mediocrity to bounce and then come back to level. That's number one. It's hilarious and sad. Number two, it's giving up on strategies before you've had statistically relevant time to give up on them. Here's the really tough thing about strategy. If you want to do something, look at Moneyball, where he says it's a process. You have to have statistical relevancy before you adjust your strategy. That's the whole point of strategic thinking. We're going to make a designed experiment. We're going to go into it. And then once we have feedback, signal, not noise feedback, we adjust. But if you change midstream like this continually, guess what? You never give something time enough to get past mediocre results. So you do something, you spend time, effort, money into it, and then it hits mediocre results, and you just throw your hands up and say, hasn't been an outlier, hasn't been exceptional, let's try something new. But you never gave it the time for the impressive information or even the anti-information, the information that tells you what was wrong about this thinking to come into play. Because you didn't have time to find the high or the low, all you got was mediocre results. Then again, having more mediocre results. Designing and driving towards suspicious metrics. This one's really tough, especially for CEOs who like to read blogs and other things about what their company should be doing. I can't tell you how many times I've seen someone use venture capital software as a service, blogs and metrics to try and define their company. But their company is far enough away that these metrics are at best something to illuminate what they should be looking for, not something to highlight and try and become part of. I know this. There's a fashion brand that I was working for not long ago who was trying to get the same ROAS, return on ad spend, CAC to LTV level, customer acquisition cost to lifetime value, as a software company. It's the wrong thinking. It's the wrong metric. It's suspicious metrics. But the CEO, because this was an optic they understood, they could read about and they could reference, they drove the team towards it. What does that mean? It means in the end, the best results were mediocre because these results can't be happening here. Even if you did magically achieve those, you achieved them through some mechanism that wasn't creating a strong foundation. So anyway, that's my first video on Accreting Mediocrity. Hope you enjoyed.